UFC 318 is finally here, guys, and we have Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. I'm only going to be breaking down the main card. As you guys already know, I don't do the prelims or the early prelims because I'm not interested in, well, it's not that I'm not interested, but a lot of the fighters, I just don't know who they are, so there's not really no point of me breaking them down. Martin Vettori is actually on the prelims, but, ooh, he's fighting Brendan Allen. Decent fight, but I don't care for that, so I'm not breaking down that one. But we'll start from the bottom of the main card, and kicking off the main card, we got Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think Daniel Zellhuber gets the job done. I just think Michael Johnson is at the later stages of his career. And the last few times I've seen Daniel Zellhuber, he's looked very good, sharp, clean striker. So I'm going to go with Daniel Zellhuber to get the finish in round 2. I just think Michael, he's been in a lot of good fights, and I just feel like Daniel Zellhuber is the younger and fresher fighter. So I'm going with Daniel Zellhuber with a first or second round TKO. We then have Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. Obviously, Patricio Pitbull lost his UFC debut against Yair Rodriguez. I do feel like this is, stylistically, this is a better matchup for him. But Dan Ige does hit hard, so you never know with Dan Ige, man. He could finish this fight, but I'm going to say Patricio Pitbull gets this done. I just feel like he's going to be a bit more hungry to prove himself, especially losing his UFC debut. And, I mean, he is at the later stages of his career, so it's like he kind of needs to get the ball rolling now that he's finally made it to the UFC. So I'm going to go with Patricio Pitbull by decision. I know some people might call me delusional or whatnot, but I just feel like stylistically this is a better matchup with him. With when he faced someone like Yair Rodriguez, you guys got to remember, Yair is the taller fighter, longer reach, so he was keeping Patricio at range and just picking him apart. I just don't feel like Patricio really had any answers for getting past the range. But I do feel like where these guys are similar height, similar build, stylistically, this is a better matchup for him. Next up, we got Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. I'm going to go Kevin Holland. There's not even no point wasting time with that. Daniel Rodriguez is not the greatest fighter in the world. I believe the last time I actually watched him fight was against Ian Gary, and Ian Gary finished him. So Kevin Holland, if you can't finish Daniel Rodriguez, then I don't know what the fuck's going on. I do think Kevin Holland will get the job done early. Either a first or second round TKO I'm predicting for Kevin Holland. Or who knows, maybe he'll get a submission. But I do think Kevin Holland gets this one done. If he does, unless we get the goofy Kevin turning up, when Kevin just likes to be goofy when he's not really serious, then that's the only way I see him fumbling this one. But I'm going with Kevin Holland, man. Yeah, we got to stick with the brothers, them. You know what I'm saying? Next up, we got Paulo Costa versus Roman Koplayov in the co-main. And I ain't going to lie, guys. This fight could be it's a 50-50 fight, because you would say Paulo Costa would win, and he should win. But then Roman Koplayov, I'm not going to lie, guys, serious problem. I don't know. I think I watched his last fight and he lost, but I watched his fight at UFC 300, I believe it was, and he landed a beautiful head kick. I can't remember who it was he fought, but boy, that head kick was beautiful. The thing is, I want to say Paulo Costa gets the job done, but Paulo Costa is such a weird guy, man. The guys he should beat, he doesn't beat, and then the guys he shouldn't lose to, he loses to. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really want to give my prediction on this one, because where is Paulo Costa? It's a 50-50 fight. What I will say is, though, if we get Paulo Costa that turns out ready to fight and ready to have a war, then we could potentially see a back and forth war. I do feel like this fight will bring a lot out in Roman Koplayov. Paulo though, if he loses this he's on like a what 4 fight losing streak, something like that. And he doesn't beat none of the top guys. Like, you know what, guys? I'm going Roman Kaplaev. As much as I would want to say Paulo Costa should win, and he should win, like, but I don't know, man. That guy is just a weird fighter, so I'm gonna go with Roman Kaplaev, man. And then lastly, we got the main event, which is Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. These guys have fought twice, I believe. Dustin fought Max on his UFC debut. I believe he beat Max via, I think, armbar. They fought again. Dustin won by decision. But guess what, guys? I think Max Holloway gets this one done. I know everyone's going to say, but he's lost to Dustin twice. I just feel like going into this... Guys, you got to remember as well, Max has lost to Volkanovski 3 times. And I don't think Max wants to lose to another man 3 times, because that is a bit mad. I'm not going to lie. So he needs this one, and he's going to be hungry. And I do feel like Max looks better at lightweight. I feel like him dropping down to fight Ilya at featherweight. Don't get me wrong, Ilya was always going to do the same thing, but I do think him dropping down, going back down to featherweight did hinder him a little bit. Just because, when you weight cut, it affects your punch resistance and how you recover and whatnot. So I do think that played a part. Obviously, Dustin Poirier has lost his last... Let's actually double check that. I think it's his last 2, isn't it? He has lost. No. Okay, he lost to Islam. So he lost to Islam, and he beat Benit Saint Denis before that. So they both have similar. Their last couple fights have been similar, because Max lost his last fight but won his fight before that. And yeah, where is this fight though? I actually think this fight is in Hawaii, because I saw something about what's it called? Max Holloway saying he expects the crowd to boo. What's his face? Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. Bruv, why is the UFC website moving like this? Where is it? Why has he said that though? Obviously, I'm not American, but it's in New Orleans, isn't it? So where's... Yeah, why is he saying Hawaii, bruv? Because I've just realised that New Orleans is Dustin Poirier's hometown. So I don't know why Max Holloway has said that. But anyways, I'm going to pick Max Holloway to win this fight by decision. I don't think any of them is going to knock out each other. I do feel like Max... I feel like he's going to surprise a lot of people, man. And I just feel like he's hungry to get this one back and, prove himself in the lightweight division. And if he does win this one, it puts him in a potential title contention spot. So, yeah, I look forward to it, man. I think Max Holloway does get the job done. It would be good for Dustin Poirier to win. And I've got a theory, guys. I've got a conspiracy theory. I feel like if Dustin Poirier is to win, he's going to say he's sticking around, and he's going to call out Ilya Poirier, and they can fight for the lightweight belt and the BMF belt. And you know what? That would be I do feel like Dustin has a high chance of beating Ilya Poirier. So personally, that's what I would want to see Dustin do. But if he retires, he retires. If Max does win, Max could potentially fight Ilya a second time at lightweight this time. So, there's some interesting matchups that could happen. But like I said, guys, I'm picking Max Holloway to win this one by decision. On paper, I'm rating the card probably a 6 out of 10. You know what, a 5 out of 10. It's not the greatest card, but we will give our ratings after the event. I hope you guys enjoy UFC 318. Like and subscribe. Comment your predictions below. In a bit, man, it's Big Yems. Don't hate the player, hates the game. I know some of you have been talking shit in the comments about some of my, my takes on MMA, that is a fucking you problem. If you don't like, don't watch it, idiots.